everyone, it's Sophia. I'm one of your Savvy Health personal trainers, and today I'm going to be going over a nice simple arm workout that you guys can do at home. If you don't have any weights, don't worry. I'm going to go over some alternatives that you probably have in your pantry or kitchen that you can use to substitute as weights. So what I did before earlier, just for a warm-up, was I did some arm hugs. So for those, I'm going to open up, come back, opening up the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together. I did some arm circles. I go forward for about 15 seconds, and then I go backwards with my palms up. And alternating arm and leg from the side, opposite arm, opposite leg. So I did those 3 exercises 3 times through for my warm-up. What we're going to be doing today is 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of break for 3 exercises. Okay? So what I have to show you guys if you don't have weights is just some stuff that you have around the house. So I basically have just a canvas bag here. You can even use a paper one if you have groceries. I like the canvas just because it's a little bit durable. And I have it filled with cans. So I have a can here, and I have another smaller one. So depending on how heavy you want your weights to be, you can add 1 can, 2 cans, smaller cans, anything like that. Basically, for bicep curls, which we'll do, I'm going to have it out. And for our other movements, it's just going to act like that weight moving. Some other accessories that I have to mimic weights is going to be laundry detergent. So just the bottles that you have here. So you can use 2 if you wanted to use these instead for dumbbells. And the second one that I have is going to be a larger one here if you wanted just 1 single weight, or for some reason you didn't have 2 little ones, I have 1 big one here. So for our 3 exercises that we're going to get started with, we're going to be doing a lat to front raise. So we're going to get those delts if I'm here, that lat to front raise, nice straight line, keeping that wrist in line with the shoulder. And the next ones we're going to do our bicep curls. It can be this way. Elbow's going to be close. You don't want to swing, have that elbow move. And tricep extensions. So I'm going to be here, have my 2 weights. Coming back, making sure that elbow stays. If you just have 1, say like it's our 1 big jug, we'll do that split stance for half of the time. And then we'll switch weights, opposite leg forward, get that tricep going. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get my timer. And I have my 2 bags to simulate as those 2 weights for our lat to front raises. And we'll go ahead and get started. Lat to front raise. And we'll begin. So arms are going to be on my side. I'm going to use my bags coming up, right back down. And then I'm going to go to my front raise. I want to make sure that I have a nice tight core while I do these. I just have a slight bend in my knee. Come forward, right up to my shoulder. Control lowering. Same thing going out. Breathing in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Same thing from this position. And control. If I have my 2 lactic potatoes, it's going to look the same. Lat, front, controlling both. Now we have 15 seconds. We're going to do our bicep curls. I'll show you a couple different variations that you can use. 3 seconds. And again. So I can do hammer. If you like the movement of my thumb does not change, I can rotate. So that thumb's going to rotate out towards my shoulder. You can do one or the other. And you can even do a hold. One at 90 degrees, taking that opposite one up. The next round you could switch to just hold this one and bring that opposite one. I don't want to have it pinched in. I don't want to have it nice at that 90-degree angle. About 8 seconds left. Keep those elbows nice and tight. I don't want them to sway around. tricep extensions. I'm going to do one at a time. So I'll do the split stance to show you. Have my bigger jump. Right leg forward. I'm going to come back. Keeping that elbow nice and tight. I'm not moving it around. It stays right in by the waist. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hold it. Slowly have that arm come back. If I'm doing the opposite side, same thing. Hold. Come back nice and controlled. Want to get that tricep right in there. If I have both, you can do two at the same time. Breathe in, breathe out. Hold that pause, slowly come forward. That's one round through. We're going to go back up to the top with our lat to front raises. You can shake it out if we need to, those arms getting tight. Remember, little bend in elbow as you go out for those lats. We don't want to be straight armed. And back. Lat to front raise. One variation that you can do to make this one harder is do a T, so you keep those lines the entire time. And come up, right up, and come back down. Instead of immediately down from the sides, that one's going to be a little bit more taxing on those muscles. So I'll show that one again. It's going to be the T variation. I'm here, come up to front, spread out for lat, and right back down. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We don't want to just arch that back. Keep this core nice and tight. Just have them come right up by those shoulders. Shake it out. We're going to go back to our bicep curls. I'm going to use our back with our cans in them. Like I said, you can use paper, anything you'd like. And same thing here, I can still do that rotation, or I can still do the hammer one. If you're kind of getting annoyed by that swing, just grab it a little bit closer down. Works the same way. Keep that elbow in tight. You can alternate. If you have two large jugs, you can do the same thing. Just think about creative ways to keep your body moving during this time. You got no weights, no problem. We'll mix them for you. About 5 seconds left. Breathe out as those arms are coming up. And tricep extensions. Do one on one side and the other. One leg forward, tight core. I'm not down here, just have a nice little angle. And back, control. Watching that elbow stays nice and tight. We don't want it coming forward and back. It's going to stay right there the entire time. That's isolating your tricep. Opposite side. Breathe out as that hand's going back. In through the nose, out through the mouth. You can hold, slowly bring it forward. That thumb's going to return right back to that dome at the top. Shake it out. We're going to go through our third round through. Lat to front raise. Arms should be warming up a little bit now. Tight core. Lat to front. We still always have the option where you can bind both of them. If it's too difficult to bring up one, depending on what you're using as your weight, you can do one at a time. You can go front, front, lat, lat. That gives those arms a little bit more help than bringing it both at the same time. We always want to think of that tight core so we're not arching our back as we're lifting up that weight. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. 3, 2, 1, right. that you can do maybe after a run on one of your recovery days when you've already hit legs. Use our bags again. I'm going to hold one about halfway. Make sure I have it at that nice 90-degree angle. Breathing out as I lift my arm up. Tight core. And I'm using that bicep to keep this on here. I'm not holding it out. I'm not kind of squishing it in that hip. Then you'd switch. Opposite one at 90. Curling with the other one. Same thing. Elbows in nice and tight. And tricep extension. I'll go with both this time. Change it up. Three seconds. I just take a split stance whenever I'm doing these. If you want to be here, you can. Tight core. Elbows in nice and tight. Hold, slowly come back. We don't want you to just drop those weights and have that weight take you back. You're slowly bringing it back. In through the nose, out through the mouth while you're breathing. Almost there, about 10 seconds left. Arms are warming up. And relax. Just go ahead and shake it out. I'm going to go with you guys through that one more time. I'm going to be for a total of 4. Same thing, 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. Going to go right back to that lat to front. And 3, 2, and begin. That lat to front raise. Front, lat, lat. You can do both together. So progression rise for those of you, if it's a little bit too hard having both, you can alternate between one. If you're good with that one, you want to make it a little bit harder, then you can do both. Both at the same time. If you're still not feeling that burn yet, but you have very good form, you could go ahead and go on to the T. That's the third option. Tight core the entire time. And it's okay to shake out in between reps. And bicep curls. I'll go back to using those 2 Tide jugs. For this last one, I'm going to do an alternating. You pick that pace up just a little bit this last round. Same thing, form doesn't change. Tight core, elbows locked in. 90 hold. You can add that rotation, taking that thumb by that delt or hammer. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Switch. That arm holding that weight at 90 should really start to burn. 5 seconds. 2, 1. Good. And gonna go lastly back to our tricep. Use the big jug for this one if you only have one weight. And begin. Nice and controlled. Hold, slowly come forward. Opposite side. Slowly forward. Good. Those arms should be burning. Same thing. You can rotate between the 2 if you only have one. 3 seconds left. And time. So that was the end of 4 rounds through for those 3 exercises. What you can do afterwards is some stretching. If you tend to have your triceps or biceps are very sore tomorrow, I'm going to show you some stretches that you can do for them. One for tricep, which is going to be right in here. Just take one hand over and bring that hand, really stretching it out right in here. From the side, tight forward, keeping that arm back. And then you do the same thing for that opposite one. It's really going to stretch those biceps out if they're very tight. This next one, you will need a wall for. It's just any wall in your house. I'm going to pretend that my wall is facing you guys, okay? This hand is going to be in contact with the palm with the wall that's right here. I'm just going to slightly rotate out and away from that wall. It's going to pull right in through here, out and away. Same thing if the wall is right here. I'm going to have my hand here. This wall is going to be just a little bit farther away from my body, and I'm going to slightly turn out, keeping this hand here, feeling that pull all along through there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this workout that I did with you. Kind of showed you some fun and creative ways to make weights for yourself if you don't have any. So that was your little arm blaster for the week, getting those delts in right here and those triceps and biceps, and I hope to see you soon.